That is the best. It's yumma.
What's going on, everyone? This is Zach with StrictlyShisha. And as you can see, I am snacking on some blueberries before my review. And ironically, this review is of Tangiers blueberry. Pretty excited to do this review. It feels like such a long time since I've shot a review. It's been like a whole week, and that's crazy for me. But I woke up this morning and there were some fresh blueberries in the fridge. I was like, you know what? It's meant to be. I have to do this review tonight so I can tell you guys how this flavor actually compares to fresh fruit. So this is Tangiers. I believe this is the Nor line. So you expect some pretty standard Tangiers cut and juiciness on this. Very dark in color, very finely chopped, and wow. I opened the lid and just burst of flavor in my face. Very strong aroma from this. Wow. It's almost like if you get too close, you kind of choke on the flavor a little bit. So the flavor strength on this is definitely like a 10 out of 10. Nice, fresh, like natural blueberry smell from this, but very much on the sweet side, especially from the smell. Not too much juice in this, and this is a ½ kilo, and this was sent to me by Frank at Tangiers. So thank you very much, Frank, for sending this over to me so I can test out. This was a flavor that's been out for a while, and I believe they recalled it, and they're reintroducing it back to the market. I actually never tried it out when it first came out, so I'm excited to do this now. But I have had other Tangiers berry flavors. Schnozberry is one of my favorite flavors from Tangiers, one of my favorites. So I'm really excited to do this. So I'm smoking this out of the Spoolin hookah. I'm using a 80 feet bowl by Hookah John. 2 layers of standard duty foil, or 1 layer of HD, but today I only had standard duty. I know someone asked me that in my last video. Using the Provost with 2 titanium cubes. And the rumor has it that this flavor was a little heat sensitive. So in some of my testing, I packed this extremely low. But after most of my sessions, I realized it could take a little bit of heat, so I packed it a little higher, almost where I packed all of my Tangiers flavors. And let's get into this. Nice thick clouds from this Tangiers flavor, which you can expect from Tangiers. They always are full-bodied, nice thick clouds. So flavor from this, I've noticed that as the session progresses, the flavor transforms a little bit. When you first start off, the flavor strength is super bold. It's just like when you smell it out of the packaging. And this flavor is a nice, sweet, strong, bold, juicy blueberry when you try it. And it does compare to the natural fruit. But something about this is a little sweeter than the actual fruit. These particular blueberries are a little tart, and this flavor does not have that tartness. But it's definitely very sweet and more on the natural side. If I was to compare this to something else, I would say that when you eat like a Chobani yogurt or any sort of yogurt that's blueberry flavor, it's a natural flavor, but it's like overly sweet, and that's exactly how it compared to this. Or even when you have like a baked good, like even like a blueberry muffin, and you have the blueberries off the top of the muffin, they're fresh blueberries, but they're super sweet after they're baked, and that's kind of what I'm getting from this as well. So it's basically just an overly sweet natural blueberry. I actually kind of like the tartness in natural blueberries, so I feel like if they had a little bit of natural tartness and they add that to the flavor, this would cut some of the sweetness. I find it to be a little too sweet, but this would be a perfect mixer. If you mix this with some citrus or even some cream, or blueberry mixes with pretty much anything. And someone on the forum the other day was asking what to mix with alfalfa blueberry. And everyone was commenting back with blueberry mixes with everything. And I would have to admit, the next review I'm gonna do of Tangiers is gonna be Tangiers Dark Cherry. And this mixes really nicely with that. And you put a little cane mint in there and you have a beautiful blend. So it's a very versatile flavor. It'll complement any mix you do. And I'd say as you progress into the session, into the hour mark, or you're going to the next round of Coles, because the flavor strength was so bold at the beginning and so sweet, it's only gonna go downhill from there. So the flavor strength towards the end of the session, for me, the first round of Coles, or even to the beginning of the second, it's not as sweet. The blueberry flavor is not as pronounced. And it's a little more on the mild side. And from a lot of the other reviewers that I heard, I know Mike Blackstone with Hookah Enthusiast has a great review. Owen Barry, Nemo Smokes, has a great review. And some of them feel like the flavor strength is very mild. My experience with it though, super bold at the beginning, and as it starts to progress, it starts to mild down a little bit. By the way, the blueberry's gonna crush in my hand. So overall, it's a pretty good flavor, especially for Tangiers. I like that they're going with these sweet flavors, these really bold flavor strengths. The tobacco notes in these are very mild, but they almost complement the flavor. Some people have mentioned of almost a floral aspect to it. I don't really taste it. For me, I really just taste that tobacco-ness in the background. It's not a deep, heavy like tobacco that irritates your stomach. Just a natural tobacco flavoring here. Kind of enhances it a little bit and adds to a little more depth of flavor. So definitely a good flavor. Like I said, I prefer a little more tartness, but as is, and it's super sweet state, still very enjoyable. So thank you very much for Tangiers for sending this out to me, and I'm gonna enjoy smoking this today in the rest of my session, as well as mixing it with a lot of other great stuff. You guys have a wonderful night. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next review. Take care, guys. Bye.